Hello and welcome to part 1 of McMaster IEEE's JavaScript tutorial, which will be on HTML. In this video, we'll explain the very basics of HTML that you'll need in order to learn to use JavaScript. Let's get started. So first, you'll need to open up an HTML file and then create the HTML boilerplate in your text editor. Many text editors will allow you to do this. So you'll type out arrow HTML and then hit enter, and it will fill in the rest for you. If you can't find this, don't worry, the code will be in the description below. Now, the HTML file, which is basically this, is split up into the head and the body. As you can see here, every element, or many elements, are split up into the starting part of the element and the ending part of the element. So everything inside is within that element. So in this case, all of this is inside the HTML file, and this stuff is inside the head. Whatever's in here is inside the body. The body represents the visible part of the document. So for example, if I put this is a word and then I save it, it'll show up right here. The head represents the part of the document that is in the background, except for title, which actually does show up on top. So for example, right now it says HTML, index.html at the top of the tab. If I change this to JS and save it, now that will say JS. Inside the head, you also put where you import your styles.css file, or just your CSS file, and your JavaScript file. You can do that by doing this. So this imports the script called script.js, which is this file, and this imports the CSS file called style.css. Well, it's got style, so let me change this. Right now there's nothing in those files, so don't worry about that for now. Now, inside the body is where you put all your content, or all of your visible elements. There's many different types of elements, but I will show you some of them. For example, you can insert an image into your HTML file by putting the image element and then making the source equal to the directory of that file or a link to that file. Here, this is the name of my image, and it's in the same folder as my index.html file. I'll save it, and that image will now show up. There is also the anchor element, which allows you to put hyperlinks into your text. So this link is what the text will take the user to. So this is what will actually show up, the stuff in between the beginning and end of the element. What is after the href is the link that that text will actually take the user to. So if I save this, you'll see the hyperlink with this text, and it will take me to this link. Other examples would be the header element, so that's h1 to h6, and so this bolds my text and makes it a certain size. h1 is the largest, h6 smallest, and you should be able to see that if I save it, largest, smallest. Now the most important element is a div, which stands for division. What a div is a container that you can put all your other elements into, and that allows you to section off your code into many divisions. By itself, it's really just a box, and I can show you that. So normally you want to put all of your styling into a CSS file, but just for the purpose of this example, I will put styling into this div. Save. And you just see this. This is a box, but there's nothing inside, so it just looks like a red rectangle. So if I add a bunch of these, you'll see a bunch of red rectangles stacked on top of each other. But if I take all this content and I put it in between my div, you'll see that the div is actually just one big box. And if I put content in here, you'll see another box. And this will be a very important concept for the rest of this tutorial. But that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video.